American flag stands for compassion, kindness, liberty, justice for all. We're all human, and today I'm asking for one human act of compassion to please let my dad come home.
Quick question. Did you think that the American flag stood for compassion and kindness when you voted for who you voted for? So let me ask you another question. Would you still regret your vote if this didn't happen to you personally? Because I went back a couple of videos on your page to find out where was the outrage when this happened to a child, an American child that was deported mid-cancer treatment. And what I saw on your page was you being hot. I didn't see you being outraged. I didn't see you being upset. I didn't see you speaking up. So your cry is not really regret or remorse. Your cry is entitlement. You're crying because you were told no. You're crying because they denied you. Because if they had accepted your father to stay here, you wouldn't regret your vote. You would think that your president was still your hero. Because the outrage, the remorse, and the regret should have started months ago when this was happening to other people. When this was happening to thousands of other people that also have families, they also have children, they also have wives. You didn't care back then. Now you care?
Look, I know you've got a lot on your plate. I know you have a lot to do and a lot to keep this country safe, and I appreciate that. But you made us a campaign promise. And I remember you said it at every stop. I'm going to fix the economy and get prices more affordable. You ain't done none of that. Not even a little bit. Stores are price gouging us on tariffs. Stuff that they're putting on tariffs on. And guess what? They're made here in America. You call it like your agencies call it out, but nothing gets done. The stores aren't made to put the prices back. They're not made to fix anything. No, instead, what are they doing? Still charge us the same prices. In fact, they're raising prices even higher. And your administration is doing nothing to help that. Nothing. Not a thing. You have done absolutely nothing to help that. And I'm sorry, but like, we're struggling. Like, you're erasing the middle class. You know, you said, oh, the left, they're all about erasing the middle class. No. You are too, because you're doing the same exact thing. You're not doing anything to help us. I know you got a lot on your plate, but man, just take a day or 2 days and do something to turn around the economy in this country. People are struggling. People are losing their homes because they can't afford. They have to choose between making a car payment or putting food on their table. People are having to choose between paying their credit cards down or putting food on the table. Or they're having to max out their credit cards to pay bills because everything is so daggum expensive. Gas should be going down. We're drilling in America. Why is gas still over $2.89 a gallon? Why is things so damn expensive under you this time, but last time is so much cheaper? I know the Biden administration screwed up the economy and made inflation just skyrocket. But there are things that you can do to fix it, and you need to do it.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you so much for always come to support our channel. Now, this marks almost the year when MAGA voted against their own interest. This marks the year when things changed completely in the United States. This marks a year where people who had the American dream got deported and taken back to their countries. This marks a year of a lot of number of Americans suffering. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. This comes from, MAGA voters who went ahead and vote against their own interest. They thought things would not affect them. They thought things would not come to their doors. For them, they thought, they're untouchable. He's not going to touch them. But the thing I like is that the guy have told them every single thing that he's going to do. The guy have just mentioned what he's going to do. People praised it. People celebrate it. But then forgets that he is going to hurt them more.
The largest employer, apparently, in Ogden, Utah, was a satellite IRS office. So you remember when Ketamine Kevin came up there with the Doge and they did all them cuts and fired all them people. Well, that office lost quite a few members of staff. Well, the remaining few staff that were there are now gone because of the shutdown. So they're now interviewing local people who had businesses So they interviewed this man. He's 78 years old. He owned a coffee shop. Well, when the first cuts came, he saw a big dip in business, but you know, he was still trying to hold on. Well, now, y'all, he said the time has come. And he got to get rid of his coffee shop, y'all. And you know where this is going. He voted for syphilitic Sid. And he says very emotionally that he's very sad about all of this. This business had been in his family and blah, de blah, de blah. I don't mean to minimize his pain, but you voted for this, Larry. Yes, you did. You voted to lose your coffee shop, Larry. You did. Okay, bye.
What exactly happened to make America great again? We're now 11 months into Donald Trump's presidency, and it's unrecognizable. Everything that's going on is not what we voted for. Let's put that aside. But everything else, nobody that supported or voted for Donald Trump voted for what's going on right now. Our country is in a tailspin, right? Nothing is going right. We, the people, are suffering more and more every single day, while the elites, the oligarchs, the people at the top are still whining and dining, right? When Donald Trump ran for his second term, he ran on making the people prosperous, bringing businesses back to America so that we, the people, could benefit the fruits of our labor instead of other countries, multiple other countries. Donald Trump ran on the perfect agenda, but when he got in office, what did he do? Who did he serve? Because it sure isn't the American people. He's not making America great again at all, by any means. I understand that it's only 11 months in, but I haven't seen a single step in the right direction.
It is marked as 1 year or almost a year where MAGA have voted against their own interests, where the suffering have started. Man, these people, they have really voted. But what happened is that, the votes have started, affecting their lives even more than those people who didn't vote. We understand those people who don't have anything to do with, voting. For them, they are facing the consequences, of course. But you cannot imagine facing consequences, losing a job, okay? Government, to drop you because of your vote. It is so sad to see that right now you lost your farm. Right now you're unable to operate your farm because of your vote. It is so sad to see people right now, they are not afford their medical bills because of their votes. And remember, before you had all those benefits, before you were enjoying all those benefits, helping you to keep going, helping you in life. But then right now, you don't have anywhere to go. Hospitals have closed in the rural areas. And we know exactly that rural areas, you're the one that have voted, bigly. Let's say bigly. Then you find out some of the hospitals are closing, like what happened in Nebraska. Many states have suffered separately. Many states have faced the consequences. As we speak right now, what's happening in the Las Vegas, man, it is so crazy. Yes, people are no longer interested to go and visit. People are no longer interested to come, and just visit, Las Vegas. It has become it started become, a town with nobody. Canadian who used to visit, they take the other route. They take the other way. And these things happens to the people's call. You just called on your door. Just your only vote and your state is suffering. No tourists showing up and you were depending on tourists. For example, you were in hospitality right now and you don't have guests. You've been laid off because your hotel, your any business is not functioning because there's no people. Man, it is so sad. This marks a year. And, I don't know, maybe you're going to tell me in this comment section how do you see things. But man, it is getting worse. Instead of getting better, it is getting worse and worse. The good thing is the guy have told you, MAGA. The guy have mentioned everything that he's going to do. But for you guys, you didn't care. You said, oh, a black woman cannot lead us. We don't want a black woman to lead us. That's what you want. That's your reason. You don't even have any reasonable facts. This is where you ended up, voting against your own interest. This is where you ended up, man, doing things that are affecting your family. This is where you ended up separating with your family. You separated with your family. Now they are not calling you a family member. I'm talking about MAGA. You're no longer talking about with them because you made them suffer. So there is a lot of things that happened, which is a proof that, man, the MAGA voters, their votes have affected their lives more. Their lives have been affected a lot. I'm not saying they're affected alone. Even, anyone is affected by that because prices are going up. Things are uncontrollable, So that's what's happening. And that's what people voted for. So what were you expecting? What were you really expecting? Let's take one example of the farmers. Farmers, what were you expecting? You lost your market. You used to have a huge market of China with your soybeans. You lost your market. The guy doesn't even care about you. He rescued Argentina. He just forget about you. Farmers, man, you should have done better. You should have done better. You shouldn't have done things like this, man. There is better things to do. Instead of, screwing up people's life and, even your life, because you also suffer. It also affects you. It will affect you a lot. Folks, let me not take much of your time. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Let's keep a conversation in the comments below. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you think about this whole year. What was your experience this whole year of a lot of things that happens? All right. I'm your presenter, Fikaso. Let's catch up in the next one.